Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of 100 Yards Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host and producer this afternoon, Logan Landers. And joining me, as we usually do every week, to help break down some of the game's current/past legends in the great game of football. Today, we're going to be highlighting current Chiefs tight end, and I guess you could also say at this point, pop culture icon, Travis Kelce. We're going to be talking about him, his career, and what we think his career could look like for the last couple of years he will be on the gridiron. Help me out, as always, my guy from the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network, Jay McLovin. Jay, say what's up to the people, and give your thoughts on Travis Kelce. Give us your breakdown about what you like about the big guy out of KC.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Travis Kelce is, well, first of all, hey, thanks for having me, Logan. I appreciate it. It's good to be here and talk football with you guys. But yeah, Travis Kelce, the guy is just amazing. Guaranteed catch, tough, has good chemistry with Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid. Just an amazing guy. I can't say enough about him. I like to have him on my team. I mean, he's a great route runner. Just highly competitive. And yes, he has an affectionate love with a pop icon movie star. I mean,
yes, of course.
Life.
I'm about to say, if you've watched any games over the last year, you've seen Travis Kelce either on Sundays or whatever news outlet is covering that game.
Yeah, and he really just knows where to be. Like, I don't know, he just, I don't know. It's almost like they just have they share the same brain or something. The way him and to watch them work is just, it's like, what is it? Marvin Harrison and Peyton Manning, that type of connection.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't see it that often. Or a Montana to Rice, every now and then you just see a really, really great connection, and they had that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when you look at Travis Kelce, we're gonna go back. I'm gonna go back a little bit deeper here. I mean, in high school, Jay, this guy was a bona fide athlete, right? 3-sport star, played football, obviously, but he also played a little bit of basketball and baseball. But also, the funny thing too, I thought that he wasn't a tight end in high school. He was a quarterback. So you mentioned the chemistry between those two. Well, that's because Travis knows in a sense of what a quarterback is looking for and where to go. And like I said, he wasn't a slouch either, right? He ran because, I mean, Travis Kelce's a big guy. He and I know he's bulked up over the years, but he ran for over 1,000 yards in high school, ran for 10 touchdowns also threw the ball for over 1,500 yards and 21 touchdowns. So he was not a slouch by any means in high school. He got it done there. Of course, we know he went to Cincinnati to work with his brother Jason, who I'm sure we'll be doing a video about here in the not too distant future. A bona fide Hall of Famer is his brother. But like I said, he joined him out there in Cincinnati. Got into a bit of trouble off the field, but he figured it out, got his life straight, got his priorities in check, and really got it done in college. Won the College Football Performance Tight End of the Year in 2013. And then, of course, we know he left before he could graduate, but he did go back, got his degree in 22. So that was nice to get there. But coming out of college, though, Jay, honestly, he had a good run, but it wasn't what you would think of him as the player nowadays, right? So in total, he caught 59 catches, 875 yards, 10 touchdowns, 14.8 yards per catch. I mean, that's, you look at it, you think, oh, this guy's going to be one of the best tight ends in football. Not a lot of people thought that. There was a lot of just kind of prove it mentality with Travis Kelce. Of course, we know he was selected in the 3rd round by the Kansas City Chiefs, so a middle round selection there. And of course, Andy Reid knew Jason, his brother, after coaching with the Eagles for quite some time. So he knew a little bit about Travis and just the family in general. Like I said, signed there in 2013. But like I said, 3rd round pick, you have some pretty, I wouldn't say high expectations, but you have some solid expectations. You're expected to contribute. And Travis Kelce did that. Like I said, he was there early on before the Chiefs dynasty kind of ever started. Got some good work in, right? He was really someone who grinded, didn't play in 2013 much. 2014 was his first kind of year to start. caught 862 yards for 67 catches, 5 touchdowns. So off to a solid start. But something that he did have trouble with early on that people kind of forget is he's a little bit fumble prone. He had a little bit of butterfingers in those hands. He had 4 fumbles that first solid season of playing. He started 11 games. He played in all 16. Like I said, 2015, 875 yards. He had 5 touchdowns as well. In 2016, he really got it going, right? 1,125 yards, a pretty lofty jump in numbers there. Also got 4 touchdowns. And then since then, right, he has been on just an immaculate pace, right? 1,000 yards in 2016, of 1,000 yards in 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and he just missed it this past year because he did miss a couple of games, but he was right there at the cusp, 985 in terms of yardage. But he has really become the top tight end in this league. He can do really whatever you need him to do. Definitely a vertical threat. He scored over 10 touchdowns multiple times throughout his career. He's currently at 74 in terms of yardage. He's got 11,328 in terms of receptions, 907. Jay, he caught 110 passes in 2022. Mm-hmm. You don't see that a lot out of tight ends. Wide receivers, sure. But tight ends, that's hard to do. But that's the regular season, which is great, right? There's a lot of guys who can get it done in the regular season that we've talked about here in the program just for that alone. But with that connection with Patrick Mahomes there in Kansas City, of course, as we know, they've had some tremendous postseason success as well, winning a handful of championships. And Travis Kelce really contributed for the majority of the runs there, and getting big catches, getting touchdowns at timely manners. In his career in the postseason, he's closing in on 2,000 yards receptions, 165 grabs as well, including 19 touchdowns. So, and I want to go back to that 165, Jay, for career postseason receptions. That is an NFL record, not just for tight ends, but for any position on the field, any receiving position. That is a record that he has set. Like I mentioned earlier, he had 7 consecutive seasons of over 1,000 yards. That's a record among tight ends. Also, just receiving yards in a season. We know that 2020 season, 1,416 yards. He's had 3 seasons of over 100 catches. I mean, the list can go on and on with this guy. He's already set a handful of Chiefs franchise records as well. Like I mentioned, the 100-plus yard receiving games. He's at 37 of those. Receiving touchdowns in a game, he's tied it with 4. And also just career receiving yards, right? And when you think of tight ends in Kansas City, your mind automatically, at least mine does, goes to Tony Gonzalez. Well, Travis Kelce beat him in career receiving yards. He's got 11,328. And obviously, as I mentioned, he's got 3 Super Bowls, 4-time All-First Team All-Pro, 9 consecutive Pro Bowls from 2015 through 2023. I mean, I think that we can have that conversation, right, of who would you put as your top tight end in Chiefs history? Because they got 2 of the greats. You got Tony Gonzalez. We know what he did in his longevity, throughout the league and what he did in KC. But Travis Kelce, man, if he keeps up this pace, and we saw he was a little bit banged up this year, kind of really the first time throughout his NFL career we've seen him miss a handful of games because for the most part, he's always on the field. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we don't know how much longer he is going to play. Currently, he is 34 years old, going to be 35 in October. So his years are running out. He doesn't have a whole lot left in the tank, I'm sure. Like I said, his brother just retired. But I mean, when all's said and done, Jay, and I want to get your thoughts on this, could we potentially put Travis Kelce as either the top or maybe like a top 5, top 3 tight end of all time? What are your thoughts?
Oh, Travis Kelce? Oh, good. Yeah, he's definitely heading towards that direction. If he's not already gotten there, to be honest with you. I mean, the guy is just, you got to figure what you got Gronk, you got him. Yep. You got you got Gonzalez, Tony Gonzalez, but then he had different types of tight ends too because he had like the Novacek, that's the Jay Novacek type of tight ends, All
right, you got the Ditkas, the Newsoms, all those guys from years past. But I think that you could, I would feel comfortable saying this. He's for sure, I would say, the best pass catching tight end
Oh,
because,
absolutely.
like I said, the
Absolutely.
numbers, the amount of receptions, the 100+ catch seasons, and just
Hmm.
the because that's the thing too is that yeah, of course, he can really get any type of ball you give him. If he's running a curl
Hmm.
route, he can get that. He can get it on streaks, and he can get it on the post fades because he's got that great agility in his
Hmm.
legs. Man, he can really get up there and get it. And like I say, he's a tall guy too. He's coming in around 6'7", 6'5", 250. So he's got some height on him, and my God, he uses that every single game we watch him in. But yeah, I think that ultimately, man, Travis Kelce, his career's not done yet. He's still out there. He's going to play. I think as long as they keep paying him, and as long as they have that really good, talented team out there in Kansas City with Andy Reid and Mahomes and everyone else around him, I think he's going to play till he can't no more. And it's going to be interesting to see, man, just how many stats he's going to break, how much better he's going to get each season. And it's just been a pleasure to watch him, man. He's really just made a great impact in the game and is just, I would say, definitely a cornerstone in a Kansas City Chiefs franchise history. Well, Jay, I appreciate you coming on the show today, man, talking Travis Kelce. It's been fun to look at the guys who
Absolutely.
are currently in the league, and we can look at it and reflect at this moment, even though we still got some time left. It's always fun to check that out. And guys, once again, if you want to go check out some of our other NFL legend videos or also NCAA legends, you can do so on Facebook, YouTube, our main two hubs there. Also, go and download our podcast, available every single week on all major podcast streaming platforms. My guy, Jay McLovin from the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network, I appreciate you coming on as always, man. It's always a fun time. I've been your host and producer this afternoon, Logan Landers. Guys, come out there, watch some Travis Kelce highlights, and be impressed this weekend. We'll see you again